Yes, my dear students of Karnataka as well as Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, you are once again welcome to my Durgam Acharya English Academy YouTube channel. Today's topic is very crucial, very critical, very, very important, examination point of view as well as in spoken language. It is very useful for the present generation. That is none other than relative pronouns. None other than relative pronouns. You see, pronouns, relative pronouns. Relative. See, the name itself very, very striking. The grammarians who are very clever enough, very intelligent enough to make the grammar easy to understand, they gave very, very suitable titles. Very suitable. From which you can easily understand the concept of the title. Relative. That means something relates to someone. Something relates to someone or somebody. That is a noun. Someone, somebody means noun. Noun means the subject or the object of a sentence. So relative pronouns are very, very important in English grammar point of view. Not only the beginners, not only the high school students, but also the higher studies. In higher studies, it is very, very useful. So without wasting the time, let us enter the topic, relative pronouns. What is a relative pronoun? What is a relative pronoun? This is very vital question. What is a relative pronoun? The relative pronoun relates to what? You see, the relative pronoun relates to what? Who, whom, which. So, the concept, try to understand. Don't distract your minds. Concentrate on the topic. If you concentrate and listen carefully, it will be easy to understand. What do you mean? Yes or no? Yes. What about you? Yes. So I am here to explain in an easy way for the high school standard students. I can drive the point home. Drive the point home. It is a usage. What does it mean? Meaning, make you to understand the important points of the topic. Okay. So, what is a relative pronoun? A relative pronoun like an adjective. You see, like, vale, ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರಾಗಿ. ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ వర్క్స్ లైక్ an adjective. ఒక అడ్జెక్టివ్ లా పనిచేస్తుంది. ಒಂದು అడ్జెక్టివ్ ಕೆಲಸ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಡ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೀರಿ చెప్పండి? నౌన్ గురించి చెప్తుంది. An adjective adds to the meaning of the noun, whether it is subject or object. So, works like, pronoun works like an adjective and adds to the meaning of a noun. Works like relative pronoun like an adjective adds to the meaning of what? A noun. Noun ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. Noun గురించి చెప్పేది adjective. Here relative pronouns also used in a sentence like an adjective. Sometimes this is a grammatical point. Sometimes a relative pronoun just gives. A relative pronoun just gives some extra information. Extra means not important. Some additional information sometimes is important, sometimes it is not important. Just give some extra information about what? About a noun which is not important. This extra information is not important. You can drop it. However, a relative pronoun defines means, not extra. Definition, it defines the relative, it defines the noun. That means gives important information. Defines the noun by giving what? By giving what? Important information. Important. When it is important, you can't drop. When it is not important, you can drop it. But when a relative pronoun gives extra information, you can drop. But when a relative pronoun gives important information రెండు రకాలు. ఒకటి ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఇంకొకటి అన్ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇంపార్టెంట్ అన్నప్పుడు వదిలేస్తారా? This is for example, 2000 rupees note. Can you leave it to the wind? గాలికి బిట్బిట్టినది 7,000 రూపాయల నోటు ఏం వదిలేస్తారా? No. Why? 2000 rupees note is important. If it is a waste paper, can you keep it in your purse? No. What will you do? You can leave it to the wind. గాలికి బిట్బిట్టింది waste paper. Important paper. Your 10th class certificate గాలికి బిట్టింది ఏంటి? ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾಕೆ? ಮುಖ್ಯ. 10th class certificate is important. అర్థమవుతా ఉందా? ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంచుకుంటాం, అన్ఇంపార్టెంట్ వదిలేస్తాం. సో ఇన్ టూ వేస్ a relative pronoun works in a sentence. Sometimes a relative pronoun just gives some extra means unimportant, extra information about a noun which is not important, not important. However, sometimes extra. However, sometimes a relative pronoun defines. Defines means gives important news, information. Define the noun by what? By giving important information. So this is very important, grammatically very important. And what are the relative pronouns? ಏನ್ರಿ? ಹೇಗೆ ಗುರ್ತಿಡಿಬೇಕು? ఎలా ಗುರ್ತಿంచాలి? ఏం ಕಡೆ 100 లేవు, 50 లేవు, 20 లేవు, only 7. In that 7, 5 very important, up to 5. These are rarely used. So, what are the relative pronouns? The relative pronouns are number one, who, very commonly used. Number two, whom. Number three, whose. Number four, which. Number five, that. Number six, what. Number seven, where. Which are very commonly used? First five. Who, whom, whose, which, that. Which are very rarely used? What and where. What and where. So, relative pronouns is very important at any stage in your career as a student. This topic is in 10th class. AP syllabus. Relative pronouns are given in 10th class syllabus. In the first lesson itself. Attitude, in that lesson, relative pronouns are given. So 10th students, 9th students, very important to you. So, relative pronouns. What is a relative pronoun? A relative pronoun, like an adjective, adds to the meaning of a noun. Sometimes a relative pronoun just gives some extra information about a noun which is not important, but however a relative pronoun defines by giving important information about the noun, important information. What are the relative pronouns? There are 7. What are they? The relative pronouns are number one, who and whom. These two are used to refer persons. Whose refers possession, ownership. Which refers animals, birds, places, things. Which. That refers, that used instead of who and which. That used instead of who and which, that we learn in detail one by one. What, where. These are used in interrogative pronouns also. But some words used in 2 or 3 parts of speech. ಒಂದು ಪದ ಒಂದೇ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದ್ರಿ, 2-3 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ స్పీచెస్లో వస్తాయండి, 2-3 ఇంట్లో వస్తాయి కామన్గా. అయితే when we use them in a sentence, you can recognize whether they are interrogative or relative or interrogative adjectives. So here they are used as what, whose, who, whom are used as adjectives. Why? Because they add to the meaning of the noun, which is used as subject or object. A noun can be used as subject or object. So let us learn one by one in detail. One more question let us put. Yes. Why the relative pronouns are used? The relative pronouns are used to add to the meaning of a noun. A noun. Why the relative pronouns are used? The relative pronouns are used to add to the meaning of a noun. How? How they are used? How they are used? The relative pronouns are used just after the noun. When a noun is used as a subject. How they are used? The relative pronouns are used just after the noun when a noun is used as subject, a subject of a sentence, a subject of a sentence. Example: Tendulkar. This is noun and subject. Tendulkar, comma, who is a great cricketer in the world. He is given Bharata Ratna. You see, Tendulkar is the noun and subject who used to give some information regarding Tendulkar. So why the relative pronouns are used? The relative pronouns are used to add to the meaning of a noun. How they are used? The relative pronouns are used just after the noun when a noun is used as subject of a sentence. Tendulkar is the noun and subject. Who is the relative pronoun? You see, used to refer Tendulkar, to give some information about Tendulkar, who is given Bharata Ratna. Why Tendulkar is given Bharata Ratna? Tendulkar is a great cricketer in the world. Now, using who, whom refers the persons only. the persons only. Who refers the subject. Whom refers the object only. Yes, my dear students, observe why the relative pronouns are used in a sentence. The relative pronouns are used to add to the meaning of a noun. Meaning of a noun. Used as subject or object. Understand? As to the meaning of subject or object. Sometimes important information, sometimes not important information. How they are used? How? Why they are used? Why they are used? Come on, say in 2 or 3 words. To add extra meaning. To add extra meaning. To give extra meaning or sometimes important meaning. And how they are used? See, the relative pronouns are used just after the noun. After the noun. When a noun is used as subject, but not object, in a sentence. How? Tendulkar, subject and noun. Immediately we used the relative pronoun who. Who is a great cricketer in the world? He is given Bharata Ratna. Understand? So, who is a great cricketer in the world? Extra information. Additional information. Who and whom refers the persons only. Who refers the subject. Whom refers the object only. The object only. Now important question. How? Again how? Again how? And where the relative pronouns are used. Yes. The relative pronouns are used to begin a relative class. A relative class. But not the main class. This is very important. The relative pronouns are used to begin. Begin relative class. But not the main class. This is right. How to recognize? How to recognize? That is important. How to recognize? A relative pronoun is used to begin a relative class. A relative pronoun is used to begin a relative class. But not the main class. Number one, main class. The person about whom we are talking is the main class. The relative class begins with a relative pronoun to give additional information. Maybe important or not important. Example, the two sentences are given. Number one, main class. Tendulkar is given Bharata Ratna. To relative class. Who is a great cricketer in the world. Main additional information. Okay, students, you observe again how and where the relative pronouns are used. Okay, I repeat once again. The relative pronouns are used to begin a relative class, not main class. Relative class andre ఉపవాక్య. అర్థమైందా? ఉపవాక్యం. రెండు వాక్యాలు ఉంటాయండి. రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ వాడాలంటే రెండు సెంటెన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. రెండు సెంటెన్సెస్ని కంబైన్ చేస్తుంది. ఏది? రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్. దేనికి ఉపయోగిస్తాము రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్? రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్కు. The relative pronouns are used to begin a relative class but not main class. How to recognize the main class and relative class? How to recognize? How to recognize? A relative pronoun is used to begin a relative class. This is one point to identify. Relative class begins with what? Relative pronoun. Who, whom, whose, which, that, like that. A relative pronoun is used to begin a relative class but not main class. Not main class. A main class, how to recognize? The person about whom we are talking. In this example, in the main class, about whom we are talking? Tendulkar. Tendulkar is given Bharata Ratna. This is main class. Main information is in the main class. Pradhana Vishaya. ಯಾವುದರಲ್ಲಿರ್ತದೆ? ಪ್ರಧಾನ ವಾಕ್ಯ. ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ? ಪ್ರಧಾನ ವಾಕ್ಯ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ ಬಂದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳಿರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಧಾನ ವಾಕ್ಯ, ಒಂದು ಉಪವಾಕ್ಯ. ಪ್ರಧಾನ ವಾಕ್ಯ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ? ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಉಪವಾಕ್ಯ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಸೊ main class. The person about whom we are talking is the main class. The relative class begins with a relative pronoun. With a relative pronoun, but not main class. To give what? Additional information may be given. May be given, may be important or unimportant. The two sentences are given. One main class. Pradhana vakya. Yenri? Pradhana vishaya iradu pradhana vakya. Tendulkarge ಭಾರತ ರತ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಅವನು ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟರ್ ಎಂಬುದು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವನು గ్రేట్ క్రికెటర్ ಎಂಬುದು ముఖ్య అಲ್ಲ, వాడు గ్రేట్ క్రికెటర్ అనేది ముఖ్యం కాదండి. భారత రత్న అవార్డు ఇచ్చారు ఎవరికి? టెండూల్కర్. ఎందుకు ఎందుకు అన్నప్పుడు హూ ఈజ్ ఎ గ్రేట్ క్రికెటర్? హూ రెఫర్స్ ది పర్సన్? విచ్ పర్సన్? టెండూల్కర్. Tendulkar. See, Tendulkar is given Bharata Ratna, that is main class. Why? Why Bharata Ratna is given? Additional information. Who is a great? Who means Tendulkar? Tendulkar is a great cricketer in the world. Great cricketer ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಭಾರತ ರತ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟರ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ. ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? భారత రత్న అవార్డు. భారత రత్న అవార్డు ముఖ్యం. ఎందుకు ఇచ్చినారు అనేది ముఖ్యం కాదు. అదేమది? రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్. ఏముంటుంది రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్లో? అడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, బట్ నాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? మెయిన్ క్లాస్. మెయిన్ క్లాస్ కన్నడలో ఏమంటారే? ప్రధాన వాక్య. తెలుగులో ప్రధాన వాక్యము అంతే. ప్రధాన వాక్యము ఉపవాక్యాన్ని రెండింటినీ కలిపేదే రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్. ద రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్ కంబైన్స్ ది మెయిన్ క్లాస్ అండ్ రిలేటివ్ క్లాస్. దట్స్ ఆల్. ఓకే. హౌ అండ్ వేర్ ది రిలేటివ్ pronouns are used? The relative pronouns are used to begin a relative class but not the main class. It combines the main class and relative class. రెండు వాక్యాలను ఏం చేస్తుంది? కలుపుతుంది. రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ చేసే పనేమి? రెండు వాక్యాలను కలుపుతుంది. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్. ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ? ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ನೇ ಇಷ್ಟಿದೆ. చూసారా? ఎందుకు ఇంత ఇంట్రొడక్షన్? మీకు అర్థం కావాలి. కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం ಆಗದಿದ್ರೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ. మీరు ముందుకు ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థమైతే మనం ముందుకు వెళ్ళొచ్చు. సో నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో హౌ టు యూజ్ ద రిలేటివ్ ప్రొనౌన్స్ ఇన్ ఏ సెంటెన్స్. విచ్ సెంటెన్స్ గివ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, విచ్ సెంటెన్స్ గివ్ ఓన్లీ ఎక్స్ట్రా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్, విచ్ సెంటెన్స్ డిఫైన్స్ ది మెయిన్ క్లాస్, ఇన్ విచ్ సెంటెన్స్ the relative class didn't define main class. ఏ వాక్యంలో మెయిన్ క్లాస్ను డిఫైన్ చేస్తుంది, డిఫైన్ చేయడం లేదు. ఏ ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. 10th ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಬಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್. 9th ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ కదా, 10th ಎಲ್ಲಿ 9thನಿಂದ 10th ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ನೋಡಿ? ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್. ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಬಿಗಿನ್ ಎ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಮೇನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್, extra information ఇచ్చేదే relative class that begins with a relative pronoun. Okay, next class let us continue. You can't digest. Take your own time. First take down the notes and try to read again and again till you understand. If you have any doubt, in the next class I explain with examples. Examples can clear your doubts. A the defining relative clause, A the non-defining relative clause. Important for 10th students. 2 marks question. 2 marks question. 2 marks కి ఇంత నేర్చుకోవాలా, ఇಷ್ಟು కలుపుకోಬೇకేంద్రి, అవుద్రి. ఎవ్రీ హాఫ్ మార్క్ ఆల్సో ఇంపార్టెంట్. దీనికి జాబ్ హాఫ్ మార్క్ మీద పోతుంది. కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్స్లో ఇంకొక హాఫ్ వచ్చింటే జాబ్ వచ్చింది, హాఫ్ పోయింటే జాబ్ పోయింది. సో బీ కేర్ఫుల్ మై డియర్ స్టూడెంట్స్. దిస్ ఈజ్ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ನೋಡಿ ವಿಡಿಯೋ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ದಿವಸ ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಕಾಶಂ ಗಗನಂ ಶೂನ್ಯಂ, ಆಕಾಶಂ ಗಗನಂ ಶೂನ್ಯಂ. ಸೊ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಫುಲ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್, హాఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఏమంటారు? ఆల్వేస్ డేంజరస్. ఏమంటారు హాఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్ని? ఆల్వేస్ డేంజరస్. సో ట్రై టు అర్న్, ట్రై టు కలెక్ట్ full information, not half information. ಅನಭ್ಯಾಸೇ ವಿಷಮಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾ. ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಸುಲಭಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾ. ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸುಲಭ. ಅನಭ್ಯಾಸೆ, ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್. Without practice, no one is perfect. No one is perfect. With practice, everyone is perfect. ನೀವು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಇಂಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ? ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್, yes. Don't become imperfect. So, be careful and be cautious. Be careful. Do hard work. Listen carefully. Read again and again. Listening important. ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಲಿಸನಿಂಗ್ ಕಂటే ಮುಖ್ಯವೇది ರೀಡಿಂಗ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್, ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಯು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಯು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ us continue about how to use who and whom, how to use whose, how to use which, that is important, how to use that, how to use what, how to use where. Okay? Thank you one and all.